The raw truth is that it is harder to gain people's attention, to capture it and to keep it. And that is just how life goes. Business changes, life evolves, and the only thing that we have control over is what we can do about it. So the most important thing that we can do when it comes to market saturation is first realize that this is not a problem. In fact, it's our job as entrepreneurs and as coaches to innovate in the industry. And it doesn't mean you have to be a special unicorn and come up with some crazy concept of product or offer. Think about the bottled water industry. How many bottled water brands exist? I went to Erewhon the other day, and the amount of luxury water sold was crazy. Bottles of different types of water available from all over the world. Water tasting, you guys. It's like wine tasting, but water tasting. The product is the same. It's water. Maybe it's carbonated, maybe it's not carbonated, maybe it comes from one mountain, from the other mountain, but it's water at the end of the day. But what each brand sells is simply the message behind the brand and the vibe that they sell with. Welcome to Exposed, the show that gives you the raw truth about what it really takes to build a multi-million-dollar coaching business and a life that you're obsessed with. I'm your host, Juliana Garcia, marketing strategist and master coach. And after building a multi-million-dollar business from scratch, each week, I want to take you behind the scenes with actionable business strategies and profound mindset shifts to help you create wealth from the inside and out, so that you can become the exception to the rule in the coaching industry. I'm exposing the uncomfortable truths, the failures, and the topics that most podcasts don't dare to talk about. So let's dive into today's episode. What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's episode. I am feeling so peaceful today. We are going to talk about a really edgy topic, but before we do, I just want to tell you that you might hear the waves crashing and the ocean and the breeze coming through, maybe some dogs barking, maybe some helicopters flying around because I have the window open. It feels so peaceful. And I've been waking up so grateful for this life that I've created, that God supported me in bringing to life. And I just want you to know that I remember being a listener in other people's podcasts when I had nothing, when I was just hoping that I could get a couple of clients. And now that I am here, my intention is that you always remember that if you're watching on video, if you're just listening, that the life, like this vibe, this energy, this peacefulness, this vibrancy is possible for you too. And I'm not going to say that it's meant for everyone, because if you want it, then you got to be willing to feel a lot of feelings and go through a lot of things. And the payoff is so damn delicious. So I'm feeling so grateful for this. And there's a little manifestation practice that I want to offer that has helped me this week specifically, because if you're feeling like you're pushing things, you're forcing things, and you don't have clarity around something, or you've been working really hard to make something happen and you feel like it's just not landing. This week I felt that way with some real estate deals that I have going on. And I've been really thinking about whether I want to sell it, move it there, rent it out. What do I want to do with some real estate properties that I own? And it was just not clear. It was not simple for me to make that decision. And it required a lot of input, data analysis. And I was trying to do it all in my head with my wealth management team. And the whole thing was just a whole thing. And I realized how much I was trying to force it. So I did something that I used to do literally 2021, which was the year that I created my first $2 million year. I practiced this every night. Not every night. Let's say most of the nights. And that was to ask my unseen team to get the job done, give me the clarity, bring the clients, whatever it is that I wanted. Bring the clarity, in this case, overnight. So I wrote down in my notes before I went to bed a prayer. And I asked God, whatever you believe in, but I really do believe that God exists and that I have a battalion of angels and guides that are in my corner, ready to be dispatched to create the life that I want, to bring me the people that I need, the connections, the options, the opportunities, whatever it is that I want. And I asked them to help me. So at the top of my notepad, I wrote down, "Dear God, please support me with creating the following opportunities while I sleep soundly." And then I listed everything I wanted. And I listed like 8 different things. You guys, overnight, 6 out of those things came through. I put the ball down and let God pick up the ball. And then the things started happening. And this is because I have really worked on letting God take the reins many times over and really have faith in God, that I am supported. I am not meant to be playing God. Like, that's too much work. God's got it. And God comes through. I know that there's a battalion of angels and guys that want to do things for me. So why not use them? And I use them and then it works. And this is part of what I teach my clients to really tap into, so that things that we don't even see can happen actually land in our reality. So if you have been feeling like you're pushing something, I want to offer that little practice, because it truly is so life-changing when you really come from a place of, I'm willing to receive this or something better, and I am not attached to the timeline. I am not attached to a timeline. And also, I did give God 30 to 60 days and he came through. Well, I would say it. I don't think God's the guy. God came through overnight. So never underestimate. But anyway, let's dive into the topic for today's episode. And that is market saturation. You guys, we're going to talk about the real stuff when it comes to market saturation, because I don't care whether you've been a coach for 5 or 10 years, or you just started yesterday, or you're a 7-figure coach. Your brain has probably been indulging in the drama that market saturation is responsible for your current results. And in this podcast, I'm going to tell you some raw truths that most people are not willing to admit in the reality of market saturation right now. And I'm going to give you the strategies on how to make it irrelevant, no matter what stage of business you're in. So let's start with the people who are listening to this and just started their coaching business, let's say 1 or 2 years ago. You started recently, your brain has probably been thinking, oh my God, everyone else is already doing what I do. How am I meant to differentiate myself? And you probably feel discouraged, and then you overthink. And when you're overthinking, you start comparing yourself to others, and that makes you go scroll on social media, consume what everyone else is doing, and then you still don't feel confident in yourself. So you end up maybe copying other people or unintentionally absorbing their message and then just regurgitating it as if it was yours. I understand what that's like because I have seen people do it. And I remember when I was starting out, my urge to feel like I had something to say and to feel like when something resonated with me, I would just take it and then say it as if it was my concept, and it just never landed. I was like, wait, but this is a cool concept. Why isn't it landing? And it's because it worked for other people. It worked for whoever it was. I remember thinking about Brooke Castillo. Brooke Castillo is such an amazing thought leader. And I remember talking about, I can't remember what it was. Oh, B minus work. And I just talked about the concept, and I thought it was so mind blowing, and I thought it would go viral, and nobody cared because the reason why it worked for her is because she was grounded in that concept. She embodied the result. Meanwhile, I was not believing the concept of B minus work, which basically means don't be a perfectionist. I was at my top era of perfectionism at the time. I was not letting myself relax and be myself. I was just obsessed with, I got to get it right. I got to get it right. This person gets it right, so let me copy them. I remember being that way. And this is back in 2016. So that's an example. And I remember hiring a coach, and she's like, you need confidence. And I'm like, confidence? I feel like I am confident. And she's like, no, that you're not delivering with confidence. The way you're saying it, like you're saying the words, but you're not coming through as confident. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, because I don't actually believe what I'm saying. So you might be in that camp, no judgment. You might be on another camp. Or maybe you are in the high earner coach category, making 6 to 7 figures, let's say. And you have been noticing that you just no longer feel like the big fish in the pond. You've seen coaches pop up and flood the market, and maybe some of them have been buying your stuff. Maybe they've been clients and they take your content, then they sell it as theirs. Maybe random people copy paste your stuff. And really what that does is just adds noise to the marketplace. And that's why it just feels like an echo chamber, because everyone's just repeating each other's stuff. And that makes you feel frustrated and discouraged because, you trust people, you invite them in your containers and you share your message like authentically. And then you see people taking it or turning it into something that's like literally just like yours with like a tiny little difference. It's frustrating, right? So you probably have been feeling really disenchanted with your business, and maybe your launches are not going as well as they used to. Maybe none of the copying is happening in your world, but you've just been noticing that there's just a lot more options that people have. And you just feel like, whoa, something's really changing. It's the market saturation that is a problem. And I just feel like there's just more work to do. That's probably your thinking. And you feel just disappointed. Like you just want to burn everything to the ground. Like all this work for this, more work to do. So wherever you're at, beginner, expert, 9 figures, I don't care. I talk to people at all levels and I coach them at all levels. Here's the first thing I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to come out here and tell you, oh, it's okay. You're a special unicorn. You are the niche. Don't worry. Your energy is different. And that's it. That's all that matters, that you just keep on going and, keep on sharing your message. Listen, that's going to make you feel good for a minute. But the reality is that we need to address the actual problem. And the truth is that market saturation is happening. It's real. People are entering the coaching space every single day. Any industry, e-commerce, wherever you look. If you think, oh, I'm going to move to that industry, seems a lot easier, you're wrong. Everyone's experiencing market saturation because the internet has made it really easy for everyone to start a business. This is a good thing. Thank God we have the internet. Number 1. Number 2, please don't be this person. And I'm just telling you because I see it happening. I see coaches who notice market saturation and they start complaining about it, and maybe have a private or a little public mental breakdown because they see that market saturation is a problem. And they go online and trash the coaching industry and judge people for showing up to sell their thing. Like I saw seven-figure business coach complain about how everyone's being salesy. And I was like, isn't that what we all help people do? Like sell more? Yeah, the market is saturated. Yeah, everyone's trying to sell their modality. Everyone's trying to sell their thing. Everyone is trying to sell their best option. Everyone's trying to offer value. This is not a bad thing. This is an amazing thing. So if we start to think that this is a bad thing, we're only going to be giving ourselves a pay cut, because what's the solution? To continue complaining about it? That's not going to bring on clients. That's definitely not going to attract premium clients or any type of client. Maybe it's going to give you some likes and comments in your post when you complain about the coaching industry, because people love to complain about the coaching industry. But what is that doing? How is that offering value to your audience? So yeah, the market is saturated. What are we going to do? And that's what this podcast is about. What do we do about it? And how can we elevate beyond that so that it's irrelevant no matter what income level you're at? The raw truth is that it is harder to gain people's attention, to capture it and to keep it. And that is just how life goes. Business changes, life evolves, and the only thing that we have control over is what we can do about it. So the most important thing that we can do when it comes to market saturation is first realize that this is not a problem. This is not a problem. In fact, it's our job as entrepreneurs and as coaches to innovate in the industry. And it doesn't mean you have to be a special unicorn and come up with some crazy concept of product or offer. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of what I mean and what to do instead. But what I want you to relax into is the idea that market saturation is not a problem. Like, think about the bottled water industry. How many bottled water brands exist? I went to Erewhon the other day, and the amount of luxury water sold was crazy. I actually was at this event with my friends beforehand, and there was a water tasting bar, bottles of different types of water available from all over the world. Water tasting, you guys. It's like wine tasting, but water tasting. The product is the same. It's water. Maybe it's carbonated, maybe it's not carbonated, maybe it comes from one mountain, from the other mountain, but it's water at the end of the day. But what each brand sells is simply the message behind the brand and the vibe that they sell with. Think about Liquid Death. I don't know if you know that brand of water. It's called Liquid Death, and they have canned water. And it's got like this kind of grungy look. It's just water, but they call it Liquid Death. The branding is fire. They just have a certain edge. It's like an edgy brand. It's water at the end of the day, just like Fiji water. Fiji water is more of a wellness vibe. It's got like its own Fiji vibe, like wellness retreats vibes. Pana or San Pellegrino, that's what I get at every restaurant that I go to. And that's got more of a luxury vibe. Now think about Smart Water. Smart Water has a very kind of like sporty vibe, right? There's water for everyone. And by the way, water's free. We can just drink water from our tap, but people package it and sell it. Is the water market saturated? Maybe. I mean, how do we know it's saturated? For sure. But people are still finding ways to enter the market and differentiate themselves. So there is room for everyone. No matter where you're at, there is room for everyone. Market saturation becomes irrelevant when you understand your market clearly and when you can articulate the value in a way that meets them where they're at, that matches what their desires are, their vibe. And also when you own your own vibe. When you own your own way of selling, your own personality. So we're going to get into it. But it all goes back to two things that I teach my clients, which is what are the words you're saying and what is the energy that you're in? These are the two things that I help my clients master inside of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. I help them find their edge, their pioneering angle, even if they don't feel like they have one. They do. And we find it every single time. And by the way, in case you don't know, the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind is open for enrollment right now, and this is the final week to apply. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a 3-month experience where I help you elevate your marketing message so that you can stand out and magnetize premium clients consistently. What I do is I help you clarify who it is that the person who wants your premium offer. We start September 30th, so this is your last chance to apply because it's the last round of the year. Inside of this program, you are going to know exactly how to elevate the quality of your clients so that you attract clients who are empowered, who want to pay, and who want to show up in a premium way in your coaching containers. Then we elevate your offer to make sure that what you're selling feels different, that you feel so confident in it, that no matter how many coaches are selling the same thing, you know that your thing is it for your clients. You sell it with conviction. The vibe that you come from is so rooted, is so grounded because you're rooted in a deep level of belief that no one can shake you. And that's what I do when I coach you. And once we have that, I teach you how to clarify your message so that you can attract premium clients. What are the words that you need to say and how to distribute that content, whether it's on social media, whether it's in your email. We find a strategy that's right for you or even in person so that you know exactly what to say to attract people to your DMs, to book consultations. And once they are on the phone or when they're in your DMs, I teach you how to have conversations that allow them to feel really safe in enrolling in your offer. So if you are curious about that, the link is in the notes but make sure that you apply because it really is the last marketing mastermind that you will ever need. My clients say it. I don't say it. It's their own words, and you can go and binge on the testimonials. It's the last marketing mastermind you'll ever need. So let me help you get started finding your own edge and differentiating yourself. Let's start with creating some solutions instead of being the negative Nancy in the room complaining about market saturation, because that's just not helpful for anyone. It's not going to get you clients, and it's not going to give you any credibility. It's just going to maybe make you feel better for 5 minutes. But now let's do some solution creation. So speaking about finding your own edge, let's start creating some solutions for you to feel like you can have a perspective shift around this market saturation, and also things that you can do. Let's start with a group of you who probably feel like you're new to the marketplace. Okay, I'm new to the coaching industry, 1 or 2 years, or maybe you don't have as many clients. The raw truth is that you are green. Maybe you don't have as many clients, you haven't had as much experience, and you are seeing a lot of people who have been in the industry for longer. But I want your brain to work on this question. How is that a great thing? How is it a great thing that other people are in the industry and have been for the industry for a lot longer than me? Why is that a good thing for me? When I asked myself that question, back in the day when I was battling with this drama, I realized that market saturation is market validation. If people are selling what you offer, it's great news because there's money to be made. So yay to saturation. I'm here for it. It's a little bit scary when you see a market where there's like literally no one there. You're going to have to take a lot more risk. So saturation in your market is a great thing. And it's actually a great thing for you also because all those people who are in the industry are creating problem awareness for your audience, which is a great thing. That means you're going to have to do way less convincing in your sales calls, in your marketing. What they're doing is they're doing the heavy lifting for you. They're teaching people why having a problem is a problem, why being overweight is a problem, why all the things that people maybe don't even want to confront are a problem. Think about the trauma-informed industry. That was not a topic at all in like 10 years ago, but now it's definitely an industry that became very popular. Thank God that they made it popular. Think about human design. It was not even known at all. And now it's an industry that became popular. And now you can become a coach who can help people with their human design, with their trauma. I mean, there's just so much that is actually helpful. There are so many benefits to seeing a lot of people in an industry that you might not be aware of or that you may not be relating to in the most helpful way that I really want to encourage you to shift into, because when you think about it deeply in a constructive way, it's actually the best thing for you. Like think about those bottled water brands. Do you think that they looked at the market and they said, saturated, maybe let's not go into it? No, they thought, great, people love buying water. Let's create a product that is positioned differently. That's a money-making way of thinking instead of like, oh, well, everyone's already there. Maybe I shouldn't do it. I'm not good enough. I don't have anything different to say. I can't possibly be that special, or whatever the brain is telling you. It's just not helpful. So think like a rich person finds a solution in any problem that they see. And if you see market saturation as a problem, see it as the best thing that's ever happened to you. The second strategy that I want to offer that is really going to help you break through market saturation, no matter how much money you're making, but especially when you start. Become a true embodiment of your work. Use the tools that you teach people and embody them first. And I'm not saying wait until you're perfect before you go sell. Wait until you have no problems before you go and sell life coaching. Wait until you lose all the weight and are in perfect shape in order to go and sell health coaching. Or wait until you have kids and are happily married to help people with their relationships. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is every single day, implement the tools that you have learned to become better and better at what you do. Because when you live as the result of what you offer, it's going to naturally attract people to you. You will be in integrity. You will be grounded in your tools. And it's not going to make a difference if somebody sells something similar, because who you are being is the result of your own product. And that creates magnetism. And if you feel like you are not able to take the tools that you know to a deeper level, hire a coach who can help you with that. In my containers, I attract so many highly qualified clients who are coaches, have been coaches for a while, can help people. And what is really fascinating is that when we coach really deeply, not just in their marketing, but their thoughts, their feelings, their whole emotional experience, it's so fascinating how the tools that they have are actually the solution to help them master the marketing process, the sales process to a deeper level. But they have not had a coach that can help them see that, how what they already know can be implemented to their business. And that's one thing that I'm really good at. And I'm going to toot my own horn here because I know that so many of you are looking for that kind of support, not just somebody who teaches you strategy, not somebody that teaches you some new mindset tools or some manifestation practices or meditation practice, but somebody who really sees you as a whole human being. It can really help you integrate your own tools and help you be in integrity with what you sell. When you have integrity, market saturation just becomes not even a problem. And we need support to help us integrate that. The third strategy that I want to offer is I want you to start saturating your brain, not with other people's marketing, but instead saturate your brain with the problems of your audience and the experiences that they're going through. Become a specialist in it. That's so essential if you're starting out, because right now the reason why you feel the market is saturated is because you're paying attention to everyone else, and the market is saturated with noise, but it's not saturated with people who know how to articulate the value of what they do in such a way that is razor sharp and penetrates through the noise and lands in the ears and the hearts and the souls of your ideal clients. That we are in a deep drought. We don't have coaches who are precisely clear with their messaging. And that's why you see that most coaches don't make a lot of money. And there are certain pockets of coaches that really are actually killing it and know how to always make money because they have this skill. They saturate their brains with the problems of their audience, and they learn how to articulate it in such a way that people just feel so deeply seen and understood that nobody else becomes competition. Like there's just no one else like that coach. And I want to help you become that coach. And that's why I'm going to mention it again, in case you didn't hear me say it. Enroll in the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind if this is something that you desire. But if you don't enroll, you can do this on your own. You can go ahead and really think about your clients' problems and start really focusing on that instead of focusing on your own problems. Your problems won't be problems when you focus on your clients' problems. Become an expert of your clients' problems. You will not have to worry about money or a client attraction when you master the skill of being so in love with helping your clients with their problems and creating solutions for them. So you don't need to be a special unicorn. You get paid for solving people's problems, not for how cool your website is or how cool your branding is. When you gain a deep understanding of your client's world and you're able to coach them through to a solution, you are going to be in the top 1% of coaches that actually deliver results. And remember, people buy results. They don't buy coaching. They buy the results that you can offer them. So if you just focus on helping one client at a time and really focus on their problems and helping them to get a result, you'll never have to worry about money ever again. And let me tell you something about results. If you're having drama about, I don't have enough client results, I don't have enough clients, and that's slowing you down, here's what I want you to think about. Even though there are a lot of people who are in the coaching industry and joining every single day, a lot of them are not great coaches because they don't become a coach for the most clean reasons, the most aligned reasons. They want to make some money and start a coaching business. You know, they think that all they have to do is just sell something and then make some money. But the reality is that people buy the results. Unfortunately, there are coaches who don't follow through with the promise that they make. And what happens is that leaves people feeling that they still need support. And that's where you can come in. You can come in and really ensure that people will feel like you care about them, that you care about the delivery, that you care about their results, and do whatever it takes for you to learn how to hold somebody through that container. If you're starting out, charge a little bit just so that you can get used to receiving money. Some people talk about just getting free clients, and why not? Do it for free. Do whatever it is that you need to do in order to get yourself in the identity of being a coach and helping people through their problems. The amount of problems people have keeps elevating. The world is crazy. So coaches are needed all of the time. And you will stand out when you become the coach that people start recommending, that maybe that one friend that you coached said, oh my God, that was amazing. I told my other friend about it. You never know where clients will come from. So if people's problems are not being solved, you're always going to have clients. And you can always focus. And the thing to focus on is understanding that all you get to do is helping them create a result. That's your focus. That is the ultimate saturation eliminator. If you can go to bed knowing that if somebody comes to you, you can help them and that you will care about them and see them through, you're golden. And this is why I feel so confident in my ability to sell, magnetize, and monetize, and why it's always in high demand, because that's how I treat my clients. And that's why I never have to worry about market saturation. I know that there's no other program in the marketplace that offers the level of support that we do, because we don't just coach somebody on their mindset or just on their emotions or just on their strategy. We treat every single client on a multidimensional level, because you're all multidimensional, and marketing is not just strategy. It's also the way that you show up, what you think about it. Money is not just here's how to make an offer. It's also how do you feel about receiving large quantities of money. So we coach people on, and when I say we, I mean I coach you in those two aspects, but my copywriter coaches you on the copy aspect as well. And the last thing I want to offer for those of you who are starting out, that actually leads me into the camp of those of you who are at 7 figures or multi 6 figures, is understand that your flaws are your edge. So if you see people offering large group coaching programs or really premium coaching programs, then think about, okay, why is what I offer the best thing instead for my clients? And this is how I did it when I started out. I saw coaches offer group programs. And I was like, well, I'm not ready for a group because I just didn't believe in my ability to hold space for group containers. So what I did is I sold myself on why private coaching and one-on-one coaching was the best thing for my clients. And that was my edge. And my message was all about intimacy and all about personalized support and all about diving deeper. And that was my edge. People wanted that. There was a whole group of people that were just didn't want the group experience. So my market, even though I was teaching people a very basic thing, how to write content that attracts clients, that's literally how I started. I didn't start with, let me help you attract premium clients and get fully booked. I started with, let me help you write some content to attract some clients. Like that was it. People wanted it. People wanted to pay $10,000 for that because they were not just buying that, but they also bought the edge that I was offering, which was the intimacy. So I want you to think, what about what you can offer right now is your edge? Because if you see other people selling programs, but you don't have that yet, don't try to go sell a program. Don't try to come up with a random program that is going to leave people with a bad taste in their mouth because they didn't get the result. Go ahead. Focus on selling your one-on-one coaching and really become the best at it. Feel like that's the best thing for you. And then once you have those reps under your belt, I mean, I made $200,000 just with one-on-one coaching before I launched my group. I didn't wait to be fully booked, but I did have those reps and then I had to sell myself on the idea that groups are the best thing for my clients. So your brain is always going to need to be elevated and sold on new ideas that actually serve your future. But right now it's so important for you to sell yourself on your edge and why that's the best thing for you and for your clients. All right, now let's talk about those of you who are in the 6 or 7 figure level. Multi 6 figures. 6 figures is still starting out. I would say multi 6 figures and multi 7 figures are the people who experience market saturation in a different way. So if you are in this category, you are a coach who has had success with their offers and your brain just got a little bit lazy. You thought that something that you created would work forever. And now it's not. So you are feeling disenchanted with your launches, with your business. You want to burn everything to the ground, or you're just like not feeling motivated and you are kind of still like scrolling, maybe hiring a lot of people. You might be taking a lot of different actions that are just not creating the result that you want. So the first thing that I want to offer, strategy number 1 for those of you who want to burn everything to the ground, resist the urge to take a sabbatical, burn everything to the ground, or start over again and maybe jump in a new niche and just discount all your work. You can do that if that's what you want in the end. But before you do that, I want you to hear me out. I see so many coaches get to this point where things are just not flowing like they used to, or they find a new obstacle, like they're maxed out in some kind of way, and now they just want to burn everything to the ground. And it's such an emotional decision. They're not actually thinking what's best for them in their future. They just feel like they don't have a capacity to make a better decision. So they just want to just throw it all away. And what they do is they end up shifting their niche. They end up taking sabbaticals and they don't have a plan. And what happens, the real deal that I have seen people go through is they end up going through their savings and draining them. They end up coming back to the industry, maybe launching random things just because they need money. And they just make decisions from this dysregulated place, only to later come back to the same thing they were doing before, or realizing the value of what they were doing before and how precious and how amazing it was. I have seen this happen over and over again. And that creates this roller coaster effect that can be just avoided simply by looking at this problem of market saturation or things not working the way they used to from a place of serenity and a place of sufficiency instead of from a place of emotional decision making. You already have so much going for you. Don't throw it away. Do an analysis, an evaluation of, okay, what is the actual business problem that I'm seeing now? Not just how do I feel? If we make decisions with our feelings, we are going to be changing our businesses every day. We need to have the emotional maturity to understand what's intuition and what's a feeling, but also what's a business decision that needs to be made here instead of acting from these regulated emotions. When we are just so emotionally charged, we don't actually see the bigger picture. So before you burn everything to the ground, if you're feeling really emotionally activated, talk to your coach, somebody who has a different perspective, who is not going to just buy into your drama, but actually can hold a bigger perspective, because maybe the vibe is shifting your message or elevating it instead of throwing the whole thing away. Maybe the vibe is optimizing your offer or maybe taking a part of it and really honing in on that instead of just throwing everything out. If you're not at the place where you're trying to throw everything out and you're just really wanting to make things work better, right? Like let's say that you really do love your offer and you're just a little bit maybe burnt out by your business. Maybe you just feel like there's more work to do, but you're committed to staying with it. Then I want you to hear me out when I say this. Standing out comes down from sitting down and saturating your mind with the problems of your premium client. That's what I said to the people who were in the previous category. And here's how it applies to you specifically. If you're thinking about creating a new offer or elevating your offer, it's not going to come from some ayahuasca ceremony or from hiring a bunch of different experts and outsource your power. It's going to come from your people. So if you feel disconnected from your people, you feel like what used to work no longer works, get in connection with them. And this is something that I actually teach as a philosophy and in my programs. And I am literally applying it right now because I'm coming up with a brand new offer. And what I am doing is literally going through the steps that I took when I created the Magnetize and Monetize method. Instead of overthinking it, follow the process of connecting with your audience and really immersing in their world. And remember that you have results. Another strategy that I want to offer for those of you who are at the multiple six-figure level is that you need to leverage your results even more. You have them, so why not leverage them? I see so many people who hide their results and hide their wins and their clients' wins, and they're not leveraging them as much as they can. And at the end of the day, people are buying results. Guess what? You already have them. Why not tell stories about it? Why not really deconstruct how you help your clients create that result? Do a little reel series on how you help the client create a result. Tell a story, write a post, but really show your wisdom. Show how you have mastered this. Show how you have helped people in different stages of their business, their health, their love life, their consciousness, whatever it is. Demonstrate your expertise and your wisdom. And another strategy that I want you to apply to your own brain is to realize that, yes, more coaches are coming out of the word works. Yes, more people are coming, but they're not all that great. They're not all that great. And they leave people feeling that their lives are a mess because they are not focused on clients' results. It's not a bad thing that people are coming into the market. It's actually a good thing for you because, yes, there are more and more coaches joining the industry, but obesity is rising at higher and higher levels than ever. Other problems are rising faster than the concentration of the market. And this is for every single one of you, whether you're starting out or not. People's lives are a mess. They don't want to admit it. It's your job to help them see that it's not a problem, that it's okay, and what they've tried before hasn't worked for a reason, and that you have the correct solution for them. So instead of focusing on your own drama about it, just focus on helping people. Focus on really showing them and demonstrating your expertise and your mastery around the topic. And in fact, when you feel like more and more people are joining the industry, be honest about it. Talk about it. Why that's not a problem. Don't criticize them. Don't throw shade. That's not a premium way of communicating. This is your time to create elevated creative thought. And this is what I do at this point in my business. Instead of getting all frustrated and flustered about the saturated market, what I do is I really think about what hasn't been said or what has been said and how can I say it in a way that is unique to my own experience. After coaching so many clients, what is my take on market saturation? What is something that I can say that people have not heard before? And you want to take your brain there. It's not for you to overthink, but it's for you to really expand your thought leadership, because thought leaders are always going to cut through the noise. And maybe you didn't need that when you were starting out, but now it's actually your unlock and you have everything you need to elevate your thought leadership because you have worked with clients and you have so much experience and you have seen the market go up, go down, things come in, trends, fads. Well, now you really get to come up with concepts that people see as a refreshing perspective. And the next strategy I want to offer is you can also turn all your flaws that you think that you have into your greatest strengths. Let's say that you are really committed to a premium price. Then why is a premium price the best thing for your people? What is the caliber of support that they're going to receive? How is your coaching completely different than if they hire a coach who's brand new? And I love that all of you who are at different levels will be listening to this because you can already see how your future self is going to have to think about this. But notice how my brain thinks. My brain always thinks my circumstance is not a problem and is actually my greatest strength. So if you are someone who has been in the industry for a while, then it is your job to say, hey, I've been in the industry for a while. I know a thing or two. And here's what I know to be true about this topic. Here's what I have seen over and over and over again. Really remember that you have been here for a while for a reason. And everything that you have gone through in the last 5 years, you have stories, you have experiences that you probably haven't shared. You want to reconnect with your audience in a more personal way. And that leads me to the last strategy that I want to offer if you are in this category. When you have been in the industry for a while, what happens is, as I said, our brains get lazy and we just want to repeat the same thing over and over again, or we find comfort in the strategies that work. But what happens is that the world is always evolving and people want to connect with us in different ways. Sometimes it's through our expertise, sometimes it's through our personality. And because you have had experience in the industry and solving problems for people in a certain niche, then what I want to encourage you to do is do an analysis and an evaluation of your content recently and what you have been sharing. what has been your comfort zone? Have you been just sharing teaching content, or have you really allowed yourself to feel seen by your audience in different ways? For me, that was a really interesting thing to explore this year because I'm such a teacher. I'm like a teacher too, like by heart. I just love teaching as I'm doing now. As you can see, strategies A, B, C, D, E. But my stories, I sometimes don't really share my most vulnerable stories, which is the very thing that made me successful in the first place when I launched the Expose Your Truth Challenge, sharing 30 truths about myself in 30 days to really just share my wisdom and vulnerabilities and offering value through lessons. But that was such an edge for me. And so I'm constantly noticing where I'm going into teacher mode and when I'm not remembering that the part that people really also connect with me for is my story, is my internal vibe, my heart, and the things that I have struggled with that have become my greatest strengths, and the more personal things. Also, humor. If you want to cut through the noise and elevate your message so that you have more versatility, I want you to play with your actual personality. I know that I am really funny. I know that's weird to say. I never show my humor. And I know that for me, that's an edge. I mean, I show my humor sometimes. It's not like you go to my page or go to my website or talk to me on a coaching, actually on coaching calls, I'm extremely hilarious and people know me. But in my marketing, I can see if I did an audit this year, which I did, I'm like, oh, like the softness that I have and the humor that is so like me, if you meet me, if you see me every day, it could be more present. And that actually just gives my brand an edge because like now I just really have no competition when I am able to allow all parts of me to come online and not abandon the teacher, not abandon my Aries, like, let me teach you, let me strategize with you, or let me be super spiritual woo woo and create concepts. Then the saturation becomes irrelevant. And when I'm able to articulate it in a way that's going to be really relevant for people, and I know how to connect the dots between my story, between what people are going through, and I keep on applying that to my brand, literally competition becomes irrelevant. Saturation is just not part of my vocabulary. It's so important that you learn how to saturate your mind with what is actually important instead of what other people are doing. Because when you do that, you are going to become the exception to the rule. And if you want support in doing that, I want to invite you to apply to the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. In 3 months, I help you clarify your message so that you can attract premium clients. And the quality of support that you receive is truly unlike anything that you have ever experienced, because I'm not only going to be there to support you through clarifying all the pieces around your messaging and your marketing, but also uncovering all the internal aspects of your mind and in your heart that are slowing you down in really expediting your way to the result that you want to experience in your life, whether that is a monetary result or whether that is $100,000 a year, or whether that is $1 million a year. I have helped clients inside the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind not only achieve that, but sustain it. And you can be next. So I want to invite you to read details and apply today. This is the last cohort of the year. We have an amazing group and you are going to feel elevated, welcome, loved on, supported, and it will be the best decision you ever made. I know that because I know what you're going to receive and the experience my clients have, and you're just not going to regret it. So I'm going to leave it there. I love you all so much. I hope that this was helpful. And for those of you who apply, I can't wait to see you in Magnetize. I love you all and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look, I'm going to be honest. I never like leaving reviews or sharing episodes unless it's something that really moved me. So if this show resonated with you today, please leave a review. It would mean the world to me. And send it to somebody who really wants to know the raw, exposed truth about what it really takes to create $1 million business and a delicious life. And as a thank you, I'm gifting you a free mini course about the 3 mistakes that coaches make that repel premium clients and how to fix it so that you can start attracting clients now. Check out the show notes to access it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.